Hi guys, I'm Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today's video is part of the Spellbinders November 2023 club. I am looking to make sure I'm saying everything right. Anyway, today what we're going to be doing is I'm making a card using one of the club kits from Spellbinders for November. So we've already done another reveal, so I've got some other cards that you guys can see. I'll leave a card up here in the top for you guys so you can find that video. But today is all about lots of inspiration from a lot of different creators using some of the new Spellbinders products that are just coming out right now. And yes, they are available for order. So anyway, the card that I'm making is this one. I made a fun birthday card using a sentiment stamp set. Yeah, the clear stamp and die set is all sentiments, so I'm using those along with another stamp from Spellbinders that I've got in my stash. So let's go ahead and get started making this lovely card. I'm starting off with that clear stamp and die of the month. Now this stamp set is really fun. It's got a ton of fun sentiments on there, and I think you can basically use this thing pretty much all year. I picked out one of the stamps, picked out the one that says have a sweet day, and I decided I'm going to use this for my background. Don't do a lot of sentiment stamp backgrounds, but I thought, yeah, let's do this and see if we can make a fun card. So I'm lining up have a sweet day down at the bottom, and I'm stamping in some Wow embossing ink. That's right, I'm going to be embossing this. So I'm stamping that one down. I'm using the grid from my waffle flower grid to get everything lined up the way that I want it. That's going to be a big help all the way around. And then I'm going to just add some clear embossing powder over the top and heat that up. Okay, I said that we were going to be making a background. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting my cardstock back into my MISTI, using my waffle flower sticky mat and my waffle flower sticky mat grid to help me line up where I need to put the stamp down again. So I'm going to have it just a little bit above where the first stamping was, even though you can't really see it, and then I moved it off to the side too. I'm going to do this repeatedly all the way up the panel. Just add the ink down onto that little stamp, stamp it down, and then add my embossing powder and ink, heat that up. Now that I got all that embossing done, I'm pulling out my paper pouncers and some Simon Hurley ink, and I'm just adding color. Doesn't really matter where I add the color, I'm just wanting some bright color because I want a bright colored background for my card. I'm starting off with some yellow, so this is Simon Hurley's Slippery When Wet. I figure this is the one I want to not take a chance of getting it contaminated as much as if I went afterwards with one of the others. So anyhow, that's kind of the reason that I start off with the lightest and brightest first. Now I'm coming in with some red. This is Bee Sting. All the inks I'm using are all from Simon Hurley. Love his inks. And I'm just pouncing around it. Where I'm covering some of the yellow with the red, I'm going to create a little bit of orange. So having the primary colors like this is a great way to stretch your supplies. That way, if you don't have all the colors, it's okay. You can mix your own. Just pouncing all over this place with some red, and then I'm going to come in with the blue. The blue I'm using is Remember Me. Where it mixes with the red, it'll turn purple, and where if it goes over any of the yellow, it'll turn green. The colors aren't quite as vibrant as I'd like, so I'm going back over it with those same colors again. Actually adding a little bit more of the red over the blue because I want a little bit of purple to be in there. Same kind of thing around the yellow and the orange. I do want more vibrancy. So if you want more vibrancy, it just means add a little bit more ink. Decided to pull out a stamp set I haven't used yet. This one is called Awesome Birthday, and I got this recently from Spellbinders. I'm going to basically just stamp out all of those fun candles. That's going to be my focal image, and then I'm using the Happy and the Birthday stamps from the Sending Sentiment stamp set. So going ahead and stamping all of that down in some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I believe it's Nocturne. Yes, Nocturne ink, and then I'm going to heat emboss it just like I did for the others for the background. This time I'm going to be clear embossing over black, which is going to look like black embossing without taking a chance of having any black speckles where I don't want it. I've got a bright background, so I need some bright candles. First, I'm adding some yellow. This is CT1, and I'm just coloring in all of my candle flames. Then I'm going to add some of this to some of the candles. I'm actually going to do like 3 colors on most of these, just adding some blue. This is TB3, I believe. Then I'm using DR3 for the red, and then that CT1 for the yellow. And these are just going to be multicolored candles. I don't have any rhyme or reason as to what colors I'm putting where. I'm just going over it and trying to blend a little bit. And if it doesn't blend, it doesn't really matter. These are thin candles, and even in real life, they're not really going to blend all that well with that little tiny bit of wax. You know what I mean? Next, I'm going to just fussy cut out my little candles. Now, I'm not doing precise, I'm just getting a general idea and leaving a white border around it, because there's not a die, or at least I don't have one. I don't think there's one that you can get for this set. Anyway, it's not hard to do. You just cut around your little candles. Now for the happy birthday, I do have dies for those. So I'm using the happy die. This one is a bubble cut around that nice scripty word, and that banner die to cut both of them out, and I'm able to cut them out both at the same time. Real quick and easy. So now we can start putting everything together. I'm trimming down my background panel, cutting a little bit off of each side, so it's down to 4 by 5 3/4. This is going to leave an extra 1/4 inch, so it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch around on each side. I love having that little extra, matte layer. I'm going to adhere this background panel down onto a blue, I believe it was top folding. Yeah, I did a top folding this time. A lot of times do side folding. Anyway, I'm going to put that down onto a top folding blue card base, and then I can add my candles. Now, there was one place on the panel where my embossing didn't really work out the way that I wanted to, so yeah, one of the sentiments across there doesn't look quite right. That's okay. I'm adding some foam tape to the back of my focal image, and then I'm just going to put it right over my mistake. For our happy birthday sentiment, I'm just using my liquid glue. This is Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I'm adding that to the back of my sentiment, and then I'm going to just position that kind of right at the bottom of my candles. The birthday banner sentiment is hanging off just a touch over the edge, so I'm putting a little piece of foam right behind that piece of the sentiment. So that's going to finish up this card video. Be sure to check out all of the other folks in the hop, because I know there's going to be a lot of inspirational projects for you to see. You can find them by checking out my description down below or clicking the hashtag Spellbinders November 23 clubs in the title. Also, I'd love for you to check out my playlist here to see more projects where I'm using Spellbinders products. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.